right.
What's up, guys?
You hear that? I'm the echo in the cave. My name is El Profe Nito, and welcome to Molcajete and Flowers. We have today, starting to my left.
My name is Jacob. I go by Jake. I'm a new member in the class. I'm just, enjoying it so far. And, to my left.
Bienvenido.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jesus Mendoza. I'm a program case manager here at El Centro de la Raza, the ANIMO program. And to my left...
Hello, everyone. My name is Elsa Alvarado, and I have the honor and privilege to be the program manager for Si Se Puede, El Centro de la Raza, Si Se Puede Academy. And to my left...
This is your boy, Batmanny Emmanuel Lopez, here back with another episode. Super excited to be here with everyone. The group keeps on growing, and we're excited to be able to keep the conversations flowing.
We can just get started with just what's going on in our lives, just what's fresh, what's new.
A little icebreaker.
Yeah, a little icebreaker, and then we'll let it flow,
Lo calentando tortillas. Yeah. Something big that's going on in my life. Well, recently, just yesterday, got to celebrate my cuñado's graduation from UW, which was very exciting. He graduated from the education department. Same day, my youngest nephew graduated from kindergarten. So equally exciting, equally important. And then this Saturday, I'm going to be going to my cuñada's high school graduation. So it's graduation season. Super proud of all of them. Excited for the opportunities that they're going to be jumping into. And I feel like, excited for what the future holds for them.
Thank you for sharing, Emmanuel. That's big. It's nice to see familia, loved ones, just reaching milestones and celebrating them. Something big in my life right now, we're actually planning and coordinating my grandparents' 66th wedding anniversary. So that's going to be going down in June 24th. So it's going to be a big family reunion in Mexico. And just gonna meet, I feel like there's like a whole other half of my family. I'm a first gen, so I grew up with a handful of relatives here in the States. So I always hear stories about my cousins and uncles, and I just feel like I haven't really gotten to know them. So it's just gonna be, that's very meaningful. I feel like I'm gonna reconnect with like my hometown where I was born. And just celebrate my grandparents. I think it's a big milestone. It's a big blessing to still have them alive and be able to celebrate them and all that they've done for our family. So looking forward to it. I mean, it's fun, right? But it's also stressful. Family reunions can go one way or another. So we'll see. I'll happy to report back next month sometime on how that eventful event goes.
They're finally finishing after like months of renovations at my house. At my parents' house, but I live there. It's like a little duplex area. But yeah, they're finally finishing up there. So finally getting my own room back. My own bathroom back. So it's gonna be nice. And gonna be going down to LA this weekend. Nice. We'll see. But yeah, gonna be down there for 4 days. It's gonna be nice. Oh, and I'm gonna meet my friend Edwin, who if you haven't seen my blog, I spoke about him. He helped me a lot with my DACA and my paperwork, and I'm gonna be meeting him for the first time in person. So it's gonna be really cool. I think that's gonna be a really cool experience.
Tell us a little bit about your blog. What's it called? Where can we find it? What is this about? What is the blog about?
TJE, the Jesus experience. I can show you guys here.
It'll be in the description box below.
Yeah, it'll be in the description down below, so you guys can find it. Yeah, so you guys can check it out. It's a really cool. I'm working on, and I have a lot of drafts in the works, so you guys can stay posted on that. Excited to bring out more work on that. But yeah, I think that's just a little bit of what I got going on in my life right now.
Yeah, well, right now, what's going on in my life is obviously I'm in the GED program. I'm working, trying to save up, getting ready to move. But on the more artistic side, I'm kind of in the, you could say, pre-production stage of for my album I'm trying to drop this summer. Still figuring out lots of the logistics and obviously my artist handle and stuff like that, because I've finally been inspired by my boy Freddie to,
Let's go.
go out there and really pursue my passions. So right now it's just pre-production, really just getting everything laid out. I do know now that I want to do about 8 to 12 songs. I know that a couple of the names for the songs, and I already have a quick little idea I've already written down and done a little bit of recording for. So yeah, right now I'm just working on my craft and just saving up and just living life.
Do you have a handle for your music, or
Right
where
now,
can
no.
folks
I'm
find you?
still like thinking about it. Still really trying to see what really hits my heart and really feels like me. So yeah, we're still just in that process, really.
Can we expect that exclusive drop on the Si Se Puede playlist?
Yeah, once it's out, it'll be somewhat school friendly. It won't be anything like crazy, but it will definitely be for, you know, young adults, you could say, and older adults who are into kind of like a grunge lyrical style.
Okay.
A lot of like almost bluesy inspired, very like from the soul, very emotional. So they're just gonna be like happy, sad, a little bit of angst, because fresh 18. So you'll have to expect a little bit of that. But right now it's really just we're just trying to figure out what really is me,
Yeah.
So we'll see. That will definitely be out in August for sure. That's the deadline I've set for myself. I'm setting up a day in the studio soon. My boy Freddie hooked me up. So we'll really we'll get some stuff ready, and then we're gonna hit the studio and start laying down some heat. So
For me, my projects, I'm working on e-learning material for GED Spanish this summer. Definitely focusing on that. My side projects I enjoy doing, but kind of carrying on a question, something I was thinking about, Elsa brought up, of like the relationship between your passions and your family and those dynamics. How does your family either support you or get involved with your creative outlets or your creative projects? How about you, Jesus? How your blogs? Do your family read your blogs? Do they have input on the things that you put out there creatively?
Yeah, definitely. I feel very supported, and I think I mean I feel very supported too by Elsa too. And she comes in and asks me, like, hey, when's the next one coming out? And I feel the same way. In terms of, I mean, that's more on like the friend side, right? But in terms of family, my sister, obviously my parents, they're not on the socials at all. Because I mainly promote it on like Instagram. I don't use Facebook or Snapchat or anything else. I think Instagram's like my only source of like social media. And I don't have my parents on either, or like any on Instagram, but yeah, I mean, if they were, I think they'd support me. And they know about like, Edwin, my friend. They know about Karen, who have all helped me out throughout my journey, and they're very supportive of me. And thankfully, I'm grateful and fortunate that they support me, with everything that I do. And I'm grateful for them for that opportunity.
Do they understand the kind of work that you do? Like when you try explaining things to your parents, do they get it, or do they you kind of see it?
Yeah, I think that they're in the old school. They're very old school. They're in that like they don't show it. They don't show it like I'm equal, like, oh, we love everything you're doing, this and that. But they're like, no, échale ganas, you know, like, do, like, oh, qué bueno, que estás haciendo this. And I know my mom specifically, she's the type that, like, when she's on the phone, she'll talk to, like, her friends, like, oh, he's doing this, he's doing, like, for example, when I went on that work trip, she was, like, telling everybody and their mamas about it. Like, she's like, no, se fue, this and that, but, this and that. But, like, because that was, like, my first ever, like, official work trip, right? And, but then my dad, he's more like the macho man kind of type of, you know, doing construction work, whatever. Where he's like, oh, pat me in the back, oh, good job, and that's it. Like, he won't really show affection, like, face to face. But I know deep down he's, like, proud, and that's like, that's enough for me. Like, I don't need him to, like, smother me with love, you know. Like, and there are times where I do, like, wish that they would show it. Like, yeah, they are, but as long as I know that they're proud.
Si Se Puede Academy is a youth education and empowerment program offered by El Centro de la Raza, a community organization. Si Se Puede Academy aims to support and inspire young people to achieve academic success, develop leadership skills, and become positive contributors to their communities, focusing on promoting cultural pride and fostering a sense of community among its participants. The program provides a range of educational services and activities designed to empower students and promote their personal academic growth. For the most up-to-date information on the program, I recommend visiting El Centro de la Raza's official website or following us on Instagram, ECDLR_Si Se Puede Academy. Once again, ECDLR_Si Se Puede Academy. How about you, Jake, with your music, and do your parents understand, your family understand?
I'd say it's a pretty even split. I have a few people who are very, like, for me doing the music, the GED, the, like, real passions of my life, and then there are people who I would say should, or at least make the effort to try to support me, who don't, and that's what I think really, like, hurts the most. Is because, like, just for an example, like, my dad, like, he's like, I'll support you, but it's like, it's not really there. He's just like, just the doubts all the time, and just the lack of communication, the, like, bottling it up until, like, it explodes, and I'm sitting here, like, wondering if I might get kicked out, or if, like, we're about to have, like, a huge argument that's going to completely, like, ruin our relationship. And I think that's what's been the hardest thing, and why even in the past, like, I kind of suppressed a lot of my more creative dreams just to go get, like, I still want to go into the trades eventually, but it's just, now it's, like, it's, you know, it's less of a need and more of, like, just a want, which before I felt like I couldn't pursue my passions, and I couldn't pursue the art, you know. And that's what's been the hardest thing for me, is that it's, you know, pretty diverse with, you know, people who support, people who don't, people who are iffy about it. And it's like, that's the hardest thing, is because I just, you know, like, if you don't, like, believe in me, that's fine, but, like, to constantly be telling me that there's, like, it's basically hopeless, that's where it hurts. Or it's like they're so unsure about me. It's like, well, that's okay, you know.
Do you share your, like, music with them?
Not anymore. It's too hard to do that. It's just, I don't want to even open it up anymore to them, because it's like, you know, it's pretty hard. I still show it to my mother and my sisters, but it's like, with my dad, it's hopeless. It feels kind of like a lost cause at this point, and I don't know. Maybe eventually, once he really sees it in full view completed, but right now, it feels like it'd just be a waste of time, and that's a hard feeling to deal with. And right now, I've got enough on my plate that I just don't want to, you know, really deal with that. So, I don't think I want to show him quite yet, you know.
What would that mean to you, if, like, hearing something positive from him, like, your work?
It would have meant the world before, but now it's like, it feels like too little, too late. Maybe it might change. Maybe once he, like, sees it, but I don't know. It just feels like if he would have supported me from the beginning, then I would have already had an album or two done, and I would have already been letting the creative passion of my life really flourished, but it just felt like I repressed it, and now it seems like it's just too late, you know? And it feels like I can't open up to him anymore about that stuff. So it's pretty much just, you know, it's really just a done deal, and maybe one day, but it's just, I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. So maybe once I get some more creations, more albums under my belt, and really kind of have something he could look at, maybe then. But till now, I just got to do it solo, you know? So that's basically what I've got going for me.
Anyone else have like your passions and family dynamics that work or don't work? Family know your passions, and do they support that?
Yeah. I feel like, obviously, other end of the spectrum, I'm very lucky, at least with my partner. We work in very similar fields. And so it's one of those, like, I never have to explain myself to the person that I spend the most time with, why I do what I do or why I care what I care about, because she's doing the exact same thing. We don't have the exact same role, and she's working with a different group of youth, but I feel like that's kind of what bonded us in the first place. And so I feel like that's such a refreshing feeling to know, like, your significant other understands why you might be upset about something or why something's stressing you out, or like the hoops and valleys that you get when you're working with youth and stuff. So I feel like that part of the passion relaying with knowing that the person that I, like I said, spend the most time with understands that, and I can explain myself without ever having to feel like I said something and they're like, I don't get it, is really special. And I know that it's very unique because not everyone gets that. So it's like a blessing for sure.
Do you feel like with your line of work and how your dynamic is at home, do you feel like fulfilled? Do you feel like this is a very fulfilling line of work? Or do you still want more? Do you still want to reach people, you know?
Yeah, that's a great question. I actually had a conversation with one of our coworkers from a different department. Now she's in our department the other day. And it's like, for me, it's like, well, is it dependent on society's view of achievement or my own view of achievement? Because we were watching a film about a doctor, Latino American man. He earned his doctorate after coming from gang violence, being involved in gangs and all these things, and how he kind of made it out, right? And how that's kind of like labeled like the quote unquote goal for like those of us that come from like marginalized backgrounds or low income backgrounds, BIPOC communities, like keep striving for more and keep showing that like you can reach the tippity top of the mountain, right? And I'm like, well, one of the things I've quickly learned in 10 plus years of working in these environments is like the farther along you like add to your title, you know, if you add the extra letters or if you add the positions, you stop being able to connect with youth one-on-one. And so you start like distancing yourself from that work. And that's where I feel fulfilled. So to answer your first question, yes, I feel very fulfilled because I enjoy like that direct service work. I enjoy getting to work with like my compañeros and compañeras in ways that like we can see directly how what we do impacts the environment that we create for youth to feel comfortable, they can feel successful and all that stuff. But I don't have this desire to like reach a certain level where I'm like, now I don't even know who I am anymore because I'm not serving people directly. I understand that in order to make more money and to make some like more change, you eventually have to level up. But I'm like, is it for me or is it for the title? You know what I mean? So I don't know if I even answered the question fully, but yeah, that is a great question. Think about it a lot, especially at the age that I'm at now and like the level I'm at now.
So we could really just spread it out. Does everyone in this room feel like they're fulfilled, or are they still striving for more in life and striving for their peak of the mountain, their end of struggle, you know?
I think as an educator, we're always like looking at the reflective like cycle, and there's always room for improvement, which like it could be both good and bad, right? Because I always feel like there's more and more and more. I think I get to see my parents and where they were and where they are, and you know, I want to like, you know, keep going and keep doing more. So I enjoy the work and it's very fulfilling. But I guess, you know, there's still so much more in the sky and so much more in space that I feel like I haven't quite reached the end of it. So, but that's me. I'm always like reflecting and seeing how I can improve or do better, and there's always room for that for me.
But that is a good question. I would say that that I'm a constant learner. I also find myself like striving for more, like in all realms, either professionally, but I think right now in my life, I'm like trying to strive for more in my personal life, and like um trying to like deal with my health issues and take care of my home. And I feel like that's where I'm striving to improve right now in this point of my life, and not necessarily professionally. I feel like, and to go back to like the passion and income, I've always been a big believer of like, you follow your passion and the dollars will come, right? Because you're passionate. And I feel like opportunities open up when you're doing the work that you're passionate for, because it's seen, it's felt. And I feel like that's been my motto. And I've been very blessed coming here. I'm originally from LA, so growing up there and moving here 6 years ago, not knowing a soul in Washington, and didn't know what I was going to do with my life and where I was going. I just had a college degree, and I was very blessed and fortunate to have found El Centro de la Raza was what actually helped me get grounded here in Washington and find a community that I can get connected to and just find what my passion was. And working, I never saw myself working with youth. I was always afraid to work with like when I first moved out here, I was actually a paraeducator, like a sub in my local school district, because I didn't know where to work. And I was always afraid to work with high schoolers. Like I would find them like, oh my God, I don't want to work with the older kids. They're going to be so mean. So I would always like take sub in for like elementary. And then I saw a position posted back in 2017 to work with youth at Federal Way Open Doors. And it was just everything that I was like, oh my God, like I struggle with education. I want to help others find their path. I want to help the Latinx community. I didn't know where Federal Way was or what exactly that role entailed. And I just connected to the position because being first gen, navigating education system, growing up in LA, single parent household, like it just like the job description like was like, I want to do that. I want to help others. I don't know what that looks like, how I'm going to do it, but sign me up for that one. Right. So, and yeah, that's what helped me get grounded, find my community. Worked with El Centro for about 2 years, and then I decided a position opened up with the school district, and I took that on and kind of worked my way up in that system. And last year in the summer, decided to come back to El Centro when I saw this program launching in El Centro, opening their own Si Se Puede Academy. Everything that we were doing at Federal Way Open Doors, but just more culturally enriching and more just to have that opportunity to come back. I was not fulfilled in my previous role. I was not happy just doing admin work and I felt like it was pulling me away from actually doing that direct service like Emmanuel said. So definitely I feel like you always have to follow your passion and the dollars will come.
Shout out Open Doors alumni folks who worked in Open Doors case management positions.
When you come to work, how do you feel? Like, do you sometimes feel the motivation to like put in the work, or do you have the energy to put in? Like, how do you feel?
Yeah, I think it's just part of humanity. You know, I can't
Over here
pretend
viciously
like
shaking hands.
I'm like on 100 all the time. You know, there's things that go on behind like closed doors, things that go on at home that you gotta, you know, leave at the door, but you know your energy will still dwindled. You know, it's not. I don't have a full cup. You know, some days, but it's not like I'll just walk away. It's kind of things that, you know, finding those motivations and finding those things that kind of help propel you and help you keep moving forward. Always remembering put one foot in front of the other, and then slowly small progresses get you to the bigger picture.
I think the biggest thing that kind of, because life is not perfect, you know, like we strive and we have these big goals, and sometimes it twists and turns and it doesn't go the way that you kind of plan for it. But I think the big thing that kind of helped me push through the hurdles and my life was my why, right? Like, why am I doing this for? Because education, going to school was not like, I was never like the best student. I always struggled being bilingual and like having on and on, right? So, but I feel like when you remember why I'm doing this, and for me, my biggest why was like my mom, right? Like I was doing it for her. She immigrated to the States, like many of us, to provide me with a better life. And I felt like I always grounded whenever when I was struggling and like trying to figure out why are things not working out. Like I remember my why am I doing this, or why do I have to keep pushing through the pain and aches? And it was always my mom, right? And that why changes at some points. When I was getting ready to drop out of college, my brother came along. I was 21 and I was like, this is not for me, this is not for me. And then at some point it was kind of like, well, I'm like, I gotta do it for this guy, right? Like I want to show him that it is possible, that we could go to get an education and have that, right? So I think no matter what it is you're working towards, like why am I doing this and who am I doing it for? Is it for myself or a loved one, or what is it? Why? Like that why, I feel like no matter if you're working towards that GED, why are you doing it, right? Like finding that why will really push you through to getting there.
Shout out Trailblazing Sisters. Elsa, definitely there's not enough words, I think, to express gratitude for, whether it's blood family, chosen family, developed family, right? Friends, mentors, coaches, whatever it may be. But I feel like looking at it from that perspective of like coming into work with 100% energy, that's, I think, almost impossible to do. I don't think I've had 100% energy since I was a child anymore. It definitely feels like my battery is slowly depleting. I'm like that iPhone that you keep plugged in overnight that you're not supposed to keep plugged in because it just slowly drains the battery out of it. That's how I feel a lot of times. But it almost seems like we have different batteries as well, right? Like you have your battery for like conversation, and then you need to step away and like refuel that battery. I have my battery for like working in data input, or if I have to be like making a presentation, or I have to be working specifically on a computer. I have a certain amount of battery for that. Yeah.
Say that. Yeah. All right, we could wrap up this one. Enjoy. Si Se Puede Academy is a youth education and empowerment program offered by El Centro de la Raza, a community organization. Si Se Puede Academy aims to support and inspire young people to achieve academic success, develop leadership skills, and become positive contributors to their communities, focusing on promoting cultural pride and fostering a sense of community among its participants. The program provides a range of educational services and activities designed to empower students and promote their personal academic growth. For the most up-to-date information on the program, I recommend visiting El Centro de la Raza's official website or following us on Instagram, ECDLR_Si Se Puede Academy. Once again, ECDLR_Si Se Puede Academy.